Welcome, and for the beautiful meditation, the music. It's a real honor to be here in this space with you today. Today, I will tell you a story, my story of devastation and healing, a story of fate and what I call destiny. This is a picture of my son Matthew. Matthew was 6'2", and he gave the best bear hugs. He was funny, and he loved to laugh, and he had a big heart, and he was always open to helping people in need. On September 9th, 2017, at age 25, Matthew, who struggled with his mental health, died by suicide. September 10th, yesterday, and the day after Matthew died, is World Suicide Prevention Day. If anyone hearing this talk now or in the future has thoughts of suicide, please seek professional help. In Canada, 24/7, you can call 1-833-456-4566. I'm going to share with you my thoughts around fate and destiny, surrender and healing through purposeful action. I will talk about stepstones or touchstones, those meaningful synchronicities, those connections to the things we cannot understand. Stepstones or touchstones can be memories, dreams, keepsakes, thoughts, actions, dance, creativity, pets, nature. They can be therapists or others in our lives. They can be goals, prayers, signs from the beyond, and more. There is no limit to what a stepstone can be. The important thing is that we keep looking for them, and that we keep reaching out to all the things and being grateful for what keeps us above the sinking waters of fate. Everyone here, everyone on the planet with enough years has experienced fate. Even young children, in some cases, have experienced fate. My talk today focuses on life challenges, those hard-hitting ones. But we all have difficult challenges, and we all have really difficult days. So it is my hope that everyone hearing this can relate to what I have to share, at least on some level. On September 9th, 5 years ago, my Matthew, my boy, who worked so hard to stay alive, despite struggling with his mental health, chose to end his life. For the first time in my own life, I got a taste of hard-hitting fate. Sometimes fate happens because of our choices. It's the simple outcome of our actions. Often, however, though, it comes out of the blue, unannounced, through no cause of our own doing. It comes because of illness, natural events, freak accidents, or someone else's decisions or actions. The day I got the phone call from the emergency room doctor telling me that Matthew was on life support and would not survive, fate hit hard. And when fate hits hard, life is forever changed. What do we do when fate hits hard? We do what we can in the moment. We allow ourselves to scream and cry and dissolve into nothingness, and then we breathe. We breathe and we reach out to try to find something that feels stable. Fate and healing are like breathing. We go in and out of feeling like we are not coping, and then we reach out to feel stable again. These feelings of instability and stability go in and out, just like breathing. What keeps us stable and what we need to keep reaching for are stepstones. In the hospital with Matthew on life support, my daughter Sarah, Matthew's sister, and we were asked if we would consent to Matthew becoming a deceased organ donor to save the lives of others in need. And Sarah and I, even though consumed by fate, were able to say yes. By thinking of others, we were able to find some inner stability in that moment for ourselves. This became our first stepstone to rising above fate. A few days later, 4 individuals were saved by Matthew. Shortly after Matthew died, I had a memory, and this memory goes back to just after the 9/11 catastrophe in New York. I needed a new license plate, so I went into the registry office, and the teller there handed me a license plate with the numbers 9/11 embossed on it. I distinctly remember handing that license plate straight back to her saying, I don't want those numbers, you can keep that one. I was not only telling the teller, I was telling the universe, I do not want those catastrophic numbers in my life. The universe, however, seemed to have a different plan, or at least a potential plan, because on 9/11/2017, we said our final goodbye to Matthew. 9/11, a license plate, 9/11, our final goodbye. A coincidence? A synchronicity? Definitely a connection for me. Matthew was officially pronounced dead on the 9th day of the 9th month, just after 9 p.m. We also said our final goodbye to Matthew just after 9 p.m. on September the 11th. Months after Matthew died, as my mind swirled in guilt and grief and memories and sorrow, I wondered about all of those 9s surrounding Matthew's final moments. One of my hobbies is studying symbols. Numbers are symbols. And a long time ago, long before Matthew passed away, I wrote a poem for each number, 0 to 9, in an attempt to describe the nature of each number. I put my book of poems away for many years, but I decided to pull it out to see if my poem about the number 9 had any wisdoms for me. This is what I read. 9, time to end things, finish, wrap things up. Cycle is complete. Let go. Time is up. Maiden 3, mother 6, old crone, she is 9. Wise, knowing, and experienced. Transformation comes with time. 9 months to grow a baby, 9 muses hold the keys. Wise old cat with 9 lives, 9 yards, and we've achieved. 9 holds all the energy of each number that came before, masters all and everything, and now can truly soar. Soar to new beginnings, new ventures soon to tend. Let go of what you need no more, for now it is the end. When fate hits hard, there is no letting go or soaring to new beginnings. But the lines in my poem, speaking of endings, did resonate. The ending of a chapter in my life, the one where Matthew is written in the pages, feels accurate. The timing of the hospital to officially declare Matthew's death, the 9th day of the 9th month, just after 9 p.m., the energy of that number 9, the end, another synchronicity. It was like the universe was trying to tell me that perhaps there was some sort of greater meaning that I would never understand in all of this. I don't believe that Matthew's suicide was fated. Truly, I have more questions than answers when it comes to these things. But reading the energy of the number 9 in my poem became a stepstone for me, to help me to surrender to what was the end. My fate, not Matthew's fate, as I believe there were always many possibilities for him, death being only one. My hope was always that he would get better, but he didn't. And it was my potential fate and Sarah's potential fate that got set into motion on that 9th day of the 9th month 5 years ago. That first step Sarah and I took by consenting to Matthew to be a deceased organ donor became a cornerstone of hope and survival of my own psyche. Whenever I feel completely overwhelmed by Matthew's absence, I allow myself to cry and grieve and truly miss him. And then I breathe. And I start to think about 4 individuals now having life, getting another chance to grow mentally, spiritually, live dreams, learn through more mistakes, and make meaningful memories with their loved ones. Sending good wishes to Matthew's 4 recipients is a stepstone for me, a positive way for me to engage and be grateful for Matthew and how he continues to help others. These good wishes and prayers give me purpose and are a major stepstone to keeping me afloat. I wouldn't have this stepstone if Sarah and I didn't say yes when we were asked if we would consent to Matthew being an organ donor. Fate is the circumstance. Destiny is our positive action. 1 year after Matthew's gift of life, I received a letter from his liver recipient. This man was in his early 30s at the time of the transplant. He and his wife had a very young child, and he only had a few days to live as he was suffering from an autoimmune disease that affected his liver. He and I developed a beautiful back and forth exchange of screened letters through the hospital over 4 years. We made this amazing connection. This past June, Sarah and I got to meet him. He and his wife even had a baby boy a couple of years ago. Can you believe it? A new baby on earth because of Matthew. Stepstones enable us to participate in life. 3 years after missing Matthew, I still felt very lost and I needed something to ground me. The only thing that mattered was that Matthew was gone. But I had 4 people who held his organs. 4 people that I could send good wishes to, and a baby. So it entered my mind to become a living organ donor. After doing a fair bit of research, I decided to donate a kidney, to attempt to give life to another child because I could not save my own child, was the only thing that might tip the scales within me and bring some balance to my own heart. Deciding to donate a kidney, I told my daughter Sarah, and she said that only a couple of days before, her good friend and Matthew's good friend from high school, Amanda, had just been put on a kidney waiting list. So, without telling Amanda, because I didn't want to disappoint her if I didn't qualify, I signed up to be her potential kidney donor. I was a blood match. And after 6 months of testing, I was given the disappointing news that I did not qualify. Sometimes Stepstones are putting in the effort to reach for a goal or to try to do something positive regardless of the outcome. Knowing that Amanda is still looking for a kidney donor and that I wasn't able to help her is something that I still need to process. When I realized that I wouldn't be able to donate a kidney to Amanda, I needed to find another stepstone. This was liver donation. I could give a whole talk on what it was like to test and become a living liver donor. It was an amazing journey, the best adventure of my life. An adventure filled with medical hoops and hurdles, and being told that I might not make the cut as only 10 to 20% of liver donor applicants actually qualify to be able to donate. Over 9 months of testing, with the statistics not being in my favor, and being told that I might not be able to donate, I sent numerous prayers to the universe. I begged that if there was any way that I could help another child to live in memory of Matthew through donation of my own body, please, please let it happen. My request to the Allyson transplant program at Toronto General Hospital was that I wished to be a donor to a child, ages newborn to 35. Around this time last year, I was given the glorious news that I did qualify. Last November, I shared 67% of the right lobe of my liver to someone else's child. 6 weeks after that, my liver had already grown back. Wow. Yes, we have amazing bodies. Being a non-directed organ donor means that I don't know anything about my recipient and they don't know anything about me. I'm not anonymous as I'm sharing this story. Right before my surgery, I asked my surgical team if there was any way I could know if my recipient was male or female. Not that I would try to track them down, as that's the fear. But I said, I like to send good wishes, and it would just help my daily good wish sending if I could imagine my recipient just a little bit. They said, no, we can't tell you anything, nothing at all. After my surgery, I heard from my surgeon that my recipient was doing very well. I then shared with him that a couple of days after I got word that I would be able to donate, I had this dream. And I shared my dream with him, which I will share with you. In my dream, I was in a really old hospital room. Toronto General is a very old hospital, and I didn't know that till I got there. I actually assumed it was a new hospital. In this room, it was like a pre-surgery room. It was just myself and my recipient, who was a girl in her 20s, and her mother. And I tried talking to the girl a little bit, but it was like she couldn't hear me. So I came in close, and I held the mother's hand, and I said, it's important for me to tell you that I'm doing this in memory of my son Matthew. Matthew became a deceased donor, and he saved the lives of others, and I want to walk in his footsteps. I'm doing this for Matthew. I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for your daughter. But I feel like mostly I'm doing this for you, so that you can have your beautiful girl stay with you. I know everything's going to work out perfectly. And then I woke up. My doctor had listened, and he looked at me and he said, well, you got girl in her 20s, and definitely the mother. Wow. This dream is a touchstone for me. The fact that my dream was right about the girl, her age, and her mother, not to mention the accurate setting of the old hospital room, makes this connection so very real. It keeps me afloat in ways that I have difficulty describing. This dream reminds me that I am connected, that we are all connected with each other, just as I was connected with the girl and her mother in my dream. And we are all connected with the divine. The timing around Matthew's death is profound to me. The 9th day of the 9th month, just after 9 p.m., September the 9th, those endings, the end to new beginnings, like my poem. September 10th, Suicide Prevention Day. September 11th, a license plate and our final goodbye to Matthew. September 11th, the beginning of Living Organ Donor Week in Canada. Each night this week, landmarks across our country will be lit up green and white to honor living donors across our nation. September 11th, my possible destiny of becoming a living donor, tied to the fateful numbers I tried to refuse. Part of acknowledging Stepstones is to engage with them when we can. When Katie asked me to share my story with you, she said that sometime in September would work. When I found out that September the 11th was a Sunday, I asked to speak to you today. Because me choosing this day is my way of engaging with the 9/11 stepstone given to me. 9/11, my possible fate and my possible destiny. Choosing today to share my story of fate and destiny is my way of telling the universe that I trust. And I can trust because of the stepstones and the insights gifted to me. And because of this trust, I surrender to the divine plan. Yes, 9/11 is the fate, the energy, the outcome I tried to refuse. The fate that may or may not have ever happened, but it did. And 9/11 is now one of my strongest stepstones of stability. 9/11 has connected me towards my path of destiny. I hope my story gives you inspiration to trust and surrender when life becomes difficult and gives you courage to reach for your own destiny. Destiny, that feeling of being connected to something greater. A sense of healing. When we heal ourselves, when we bring that balance to our own heart, we energetically heal the world around us. Some call this the butterfly effect. Every year, sometime between September 9th and the 11th, Sarah and I place another butterfly on Matthew's special bowl with this candle. Each butterfly represents another year without him. And it also represents the beauty, transformation, and magic that continues on earth because of Matthew. Thank you for allowing me to share my story with you. Sarah's story and Matthew's story. The story of Amanda and of all the individuals on an organ wait list. In this beautiful sacred place surrounded by your loving presence, I choose to place Matthew's fifth butterfly. With gratitude to all of you, gratitude to Matthew, and gratitude to the mystery of the divine. Another butterfly for Matthew, the touchstone for Matthew today, 9/11.